I'm sure by now you've read the headlines or at the very least seen some angry messages on Twitter. Ubisoft announced they're going to focus on free-to-play games. This announcement came in a recent earnings call where they told their investors they wanted to move away from their reliance on AAA titles, move away from the rigorous release schedule of a promised 3 to 4 big AAA games per year, and focus on high-end free-to-play experiences. Now, Ubisoft actually kept up with this promise last year, releasing 3 massive titles at the very end of the year in Immortals Fenyx Rising, Watch Dogs Legion, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Very conservative estimates of gameplay numbers suggest that that's roughly about 130 to 240 hours worth of gameplay in a 3-month window. This had even the most steadfast fans of these franchises experiencing some open world fatigue. But it's not just player fatigue that drove this decision. We've seen the success of free-to-play titles in recent years just raking in money hand over fist, so it's no wonder that developers have decided to dive into this market like Scrooge McDuck. According to estimates provided by Superdata, Warframe's revenue has grown on average roughly about 27% year on year, reaching $182 million in digital revenue since 2018. Activision recently revealed that Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Warzone have collectively made almost $500 million from microtransactions. Just this week it was announced that Apex Legends crossed $1 billion in revenue in less than 2 years, and Genshin Impact was actually able to make that same figure in less than 6 months. There's also another big game in the space, the name's escaping me, I can't think of it, but it's been somewhat successful too. Now granted, you're able to point to 5 different failures to every 1 success in this space, but Ubisoft has something that a lot of developers don't, and that's a blockbuster catalog. They're able to slap names like Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs or Rainbow Six onto these free-to-play titles and gain at least a modicum of success just based on name recognition alone. And it seems this is exactly what they're doing with Division Heartland, the newest installment in the Division franchise coming sometime this summer. Thus far, not a lot is known about it other than it is going to be the first in this long line of free-to-play experiences, and if I had to guess, I would suspect it's based on Division 1's Survival DLC. This was a melding of genres similar to a battle royale, but there was also PvE elements, there were also survival elements kind of similar to DayZ, and fans of the original mode absolutely loved it, and they've been begging for its institution in Division 2 since that game's release. But the studios have been eerily quiet about the mode, which makes sense now, because they may be releasing it as a standalone feature. Also, pay attention to the logo and the flare. The flare in this universe only signifies one thing, an extraction, and that's how you won the survival mode. And if you want me to keep my hot takes rolling, I'm going to say that Rainbow Six Parasite is going to be a free-to-play game as well. And the reason I think this is because Ubisoft in that same earnings call reported to their investors that Rainbow Six Siege was of the top 10 most played games of 2020 in the entire industry, and the next game is set to broaden audience reach. How do you broaden audience reach if you're in the top 10 most played games of the year? Well, you remove the barrier to entry. And in that same call, we also got word that Skull and Bones is being pushed back again, this time going back to, I believe it was 2022 or 2023. We don't know too much about this title either, other than it looks like a more adult version of Sea of Thieves. And in Sea of Thieves, remember, we saw some of these monetization elements, customizations for your ship and pets and flags and emblems and clothing and weapons, season passes. I think it's fairly easy to assume that when Skull and Bones does get released, it's going to be in line with this free-to-play change. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Drop me a like if you liked it and subscribe!